Guys, JD Vance here at Radford, Virginia. I thought I'd take you behind the scenes a little bit. When you get to an event, they've got a ton of crap for you to drink and eat. You got 3 bottles of Diet Mountain Dew, about a dozen Snickers, a bag of chips. If I ate even half this stuff, of course, I'd balloon up like crazy. This is the energy that powers the presidential and vice presidential campaign. Of course.
So I'm so psyched to be here. Not, here on vacation, which I'm also psyched to be on, but to be part of this call. So take it away, y'all. And Kamala Harris, the world is watching and they are talking about you.
You're listening.
Yeah, like all the time I'm listening.
With Christian, Eric, and Carl sometimes.
Listen in your office, in your car, or even your neighborhood bar.
We're doing it. We're doing it. We're having fun. We're making it happen.
It's fun time. Open your mouth, close your eyes. We're going to give you a big surprise.
And here it is.
That's right. Here it is. Welcome to Who Are These Broadcasters? I'm Christian Bladt. Look over there. It's the one, the only Eric Zane. EZ, how are you today?
Never better, my friend. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. Nothing I like better than early morning texts from EZ that say things like, thunderstorms in the area. I don't have internet. Oh, I have internet. Scratch that. I don't have internet. But right now, you have internet.
Yes, I have internet, and I want to get out in front of this. Yes, I am literally duct tape and rubber bands.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Are holding together. Let's focus on that. Get a nice big view of actual rubber bands and duct tape, keeping this microphone in the spot that it is. So a real poverty angle here, as there's no reason to try to explain what's going on, but it's probably going to be that way for a couple of weeks. I just wanted to get out in front of that. If you wanted to insult me.
Interesting. You still have a better setup than a former announcer for the Tonight Show and Tampa's fifth favorite comic. So, you're in good company here throughout the Dabbleverse. And we need to thank Hulkamania, already gifting one Who Are These Podcasts membership. And if people want to do the gifted memberships, that's fine. We don't get a cut of that. So what do we really want from everyone, Eric?
A fucking ton of money. I mean, I overheard Carl on, he was talking with Blind Mike and on one of his pieces. And he said that there was some guy, because they were making fun of Aaron for begging.
Yeah.
And they said that some podcasts that they like to listen to, they said, hey, they have this passive approach. If you want to give us money, if you feel like it's worth it, throw some money at us. So that's kind of, I'm stealing that. That's, if you feel like what you're watching is worth anything, throw us some money. And if you take a dollar amount and attach it to something nasty that you want Christian to say to end the show, well, by all means.
That'll be my sign off. I don't want to go too far down this rabbit hole, but do you know what Blind Mike did on Sunday? He had a telethon where his entire show was focused on the goal, and the goal was going directly into Blind Mike's pocket. And he set the goal. What number do you think, what dollar amount do you think Blind Mike would have set the goal at for a ridiculous effort like this?
$350?
$10,000. But here's the real. I was on for 90 minutes helping with super chats and helping to remind people the importance of the goal. Do you know how much he actually got?
Probably a pretty fair amount. A lot of people like Blind Mike.
He got $4,000 on one stream. And, he was moved. We were all moved, all of us who took a part of it, but they let down the goal. So next time, the goal should have to be at $20,000. But we're very proud of that. Helping us already get to our goal, our buddy JJ, Devil's Joint, who will be on this show next week, revisiting a friend that we introduced on an episode when Eric wasn't here. So we'll have fun with Devil's Joint in a couple of weeks. But I think that's enough. That's enough banter. I don't think we have time for any more banter.
Nope.
Because there's so much to do that we have to head right on over to local news.
Others imitate it. We appreciate it.
So right off the bat, I'd have to give credit to the tremendous X account, Awful Announcing. They have a website too. I'm not going to lie. The majority of our sports clips come from there. And when I feel like it's something I wouldn't have found otherwise, I always give them a pat on the back. It's a tremendous account. Everybody should follow it if you enjoy the sports segment on this show. And this was a local news segment, though. It's in their wheelhouse because the sports guy for Tampa's WTSP went way beyond his job description, providing Hurricane Debbie coverage. So he went out and he's there. And you could tell, though, the sports guy is he's not a journalist. He probably didn't go to journalism school. He probably got an injury junior year of college, so he could never go pro.
Okay.
But so this gentleman's David Scheel, Schiele, seems like Scheel. Tukey would be alarmed. That sounds like it might be a Shuli, but that's all right. David Scheel heads out to cover Hurricane Debbie.
here in Gulfport. They've been dealing with these effects back when Debbie was just a tropical storm for hours. Storm surge from the Boca Ciega Bay have spilled into the street. Shore Boulevard has been flooded up to about knee level for hours. The businesses on Beach Boulevard, they have boarded up their windows. They have sandbags in front of the front doors. They've been closed for a while.
So he's just doing, just here's what I see. I can't, the wind is in my eyes. I've got this hood on. It's not helping. Let me just, do this live shot and then run. But eventually you're like, well, maybe I'll have a little bit of fun.
There is a boat over on this side that's been tipped over. There are some people trying to live life a little bit dangerously in the waters. But as you can see, boats tipped over. Waves are coming in. That young man just fell. Don't do that. Don't be like that guy. I know Batista walked miles through a pit of danger. You are not Batista. Don't drive through these floodwaters. It is.
So I believe that's a WWE reference.
Yeah, I guess it would be.
I'll have to send this to Vinny and all of the I think Tukey, or at least Bedabbler, I believe, is a wrestling fan too. So he would probably appreciate that. So, when you're the sports guy, you do drop in the pop culture references.
Not recommended. We've seen trucks try to drive through these streets. About halfway through, they decided to reverse and bring it back like a blockbuster tape.
So what do you feel about that reference? Bring it back like a blockbuster tape.
I didn't get it until you said it again slower. It didn't resonate with me.
Okay, because look, if this is 1995, that's at least a semi-decent reference. But,
Right.
What percentage of our audience actually ever rented tapes from Blockbusters? Actually, we're old as fuck, so probably most of them, right? Easy.
Right. Yeah, but no one even remembers it. But you're right. He's doing all the things that you do when you do a stupid sports cast. You throw in fucking wacky things to say, and he's in fuego, whatever.
Yeah, the only thing missing is boom goes the dynamite.
Again, Hurricane Debbie's effects have been felt here in Gulfport for a while. The water is up to about knee level. A lot of the neighbors that we spoke to off camera were getting ready to evacuate. They have now evacuated the area.
It is so underwhelming. There's like one puddle.
Yeah, it's like if an entire fraternity house just took a leak in front of it. It's like that's really the amount of liquid that's right there. So I appreciate that. It's not as legendary as the sports guy who went out in the snowstorm and complained about it like a year and a half ago, if you remember that guy.
Yes, I do.
I'm going to keep my eye on David Scheel only because I'm going to watch my wallet. So our next local news story, Eric, I specifically pulled this for you, sort of bending the rules a little bit for local news. This is local news out of China. And I saw this and I'm like, I'm not going to tell him about it. I need to get Eric Zane's reference to this tragic story.
Tragic incident. A Chinese social media influencer died in the middle of her live stream due to overeating. Pan Xiaoting, 24, was a mukbang live streamer and had a huge following.
Anybody in the chat have anything to say about Pan Xiaoting? Anything about that?
Yeah.
Whether it's a super chat or a regular chat. I'm leaving this one up on the tee for our chat, Eric.
What is she eating there? Is that like a big fucking lobster or some shit? Or?
Don't worry. We're going to get a description on what she typically eats on these streams.
Initially, she worked as a waitress and started streaming as a side hustle to earn some extra income. As her popularity began to rise, she left her job and did full-time live streaming, which was a significant shift in her career. The demands of her new career increased as she gained more followers. Because of the massive amounts of food she consumed during her sessions, her family started to worry about the possible effects on her health.
The possible effects on her health. Well, I'm sure she took it to heart and didn't get overboard on the mukbang videos she did. Let's just assume she had a reasonable diet.
But rather than paying attention to her family's concerns, Xiaoting chose to rent a studio so that her streaming sessions would take place in a more controlled and formal setting. Her commitment to mukbang streaming paid off, as her followers showered her with presents in addition to a substantial income. Pan Xiaoting challenged herself to the extreme as her profession progressed. Her line of work resulted in several hospital stays.
All right, this is when our audience is going to need to get out the lube. All right, get ready. You're going to hear just how hot this chick was. Troy Smith, MSG, is a hell of a drug. Thank you to the great Troy Smith.
Her weight at the time of her death was
Sorry, Mr. Z, very dishonorable. Thank you, Mr. Z.
300 kilonon, or roughly 660 pounds.
Did you hear that? Did you hear how big she was?
Christ. My God.
Yeah.
Oh,
660 pounds. So just imagine the Guinness Book of World Records, those two twins on the
Right.
motorcycle.
Yes.
She's them combined.
That's
After
in fact, that's like two old Vinnies. That is two old Vinnies.
It might even be two present day John Melendez's.
Right? Yeah. We got to think Vinny of the past.
Yeah.
Times
being
two.
admitted to the hospital for a stomach hemorrhage, she started taking on even riskier tasks.
Oh,
She
tell
would
me
eat
more.
nonstop for up to 10 hours a day and
Oh.
would consume up to 10 kilos of food in a single session.
Wow.
So she is starting to sound more like old Vinny. Bless Vinny for taking his health seriously. And he's a new Vinny, which you'll see at DabbleCon 2 the next weekend, not this weekend, weekend after, August 16th and 17th in Rochester. You go ahead and read the Duke of the Delusional over there.
Duke of the Delusional says obesity as a career. Is she Artie Lang? Wait, hey, how much is Vinny down to? Is he like actually ripped now? Is he look like a totally different person?
I mean, are you hitting on him now? What's
No,
happening here?
I'm always impressed when someone does that, but I'm oftentimes worried about them going too far.
Yeah.
You know, when they just become like so skinny.
I think once Dolphin seasons start, he'll be fine. You know, once he starts sitting down on Sunday to watch the Dolphins,
Okay.
he'll probably be all right. All right, let's get the happy ending here.
She passed away on July 14th during one of these sessions. Even though the official cause of death remained unknown,
By the way,
the Chinese
I like how they just keep playing the same footage, close-ups of her face, her holding a piece of cheesecake, and it just keeps circulating.
She's got like the whole lobster there, a pile of it, and you see the drink next to her. I'm sure that's a Diet Coke or
Right,
maybe a Pepsi Zero, because you know she's 600 pounds, but she takes it seriously.
This is almost as painful as watching Imholt trying to raise $350.
Venmo, Streamlabs, Super Chats, memberships, gifted memberships, and of course, Rumble Rants.
website Sohu revealed that the lower portion of her stomach was deformed and contained undigested food. Social media.
All right, who just came in the chat? Come
Oh,
on.
Can you imagine fucking her in the ass? How much food would come flying out of her mouth?
Okay, I haven't been imagining that, but now, and I'm not going to say I'm not 100% turned off by it, like 98% turned off by that idea. But there's a part of me that's like, yeah, what would that be like? An entire jumbo jack from Jack in the Box just flies out of her mouth when you take her from behind. All right, well, let's keep things Asian here. This is going to be a visual one, but we'll do our best to provide play-by-play for our audio audience. I think it's amazing. Obviously, the Japanese are such polite people. Even the animals are polite in Japan. So here's a deer outside of a supermarket. So they get the door open by movement. It's one of those movement sensors. You don't need the sound. It's just annoying.
Yeah.
And so, but before they enter and, you know, they ransack and, you know, just start eating all the food in there, they bow. So they are, of course, very polite animals. You know, if only deer in this country, Eric, were as respectful of other people's belongings, right?
I'm impressed with the size of that deer and that fucking rack. and then the guy just walks right up to it and he's like, go on, shoo, go away.
Yeah. Well, I know what people are thinking. They're like, what the fuck was that? We don't tune into this show for deer videos. We're here for only one thing.
WATV, who are these bears? Who are these bears?
Did you forget we had that sounder now?
I did forget that. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, well, Doug from the Jingles department has all kinds of new jingles that we'll use. And this is very typical for the bear content people come to expect from this show. Mama bear and her cub find a hammock, and we don't really have to provide the play-by-play this time because the person who filmed it does an excellent job.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, get up there. Get your butt up.
Yep. Get your butt up in that hammock, Mama.
Ooh, this is comfy.
She's doing a great job, isn't she?
No.
Who's struggling more, the mama bear or the lady talking? All right. And now the baby's like, okay, well, we'll get to that in a second, Mr. Z. Don't steal my thunder.
Oh, he's going to get up there too.
DeWire says she needs a daddy tag. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Oh my gosh.
Oh, come on. Get up there, baby.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh.
The woman is flicking her bean.
She sure sounds like it.
I mean, how often do you get to see oh my gosh, Hulkamania, $10. $10, I got to get the official Cardiff Electric Bell. It's actually not an official Cardiff Electric Bell. You should start selling them. Thank you, Hulkamania. Much appreciated. And Hulkamania is great at giving gifted memberships, but he still has a soft spot for bears. Unfortunately, there's somebody else who has less of a soft spot for bears. And Eric, I'm sure you knew we would get into this pretty early in the show.
Yeah.
And we heard what might be the craziest story that I've ever heard from a political candidate in the most unlikely place. RFK Jr. was on Roseanne Barr's podcast. This clip is 3.5 minutes. I may play the whole thing, but we'll jump in as we go along. So there's a New Yorker article which has since come out, but at the time they recorded this, it was about to come out. So RFK Jr. figures, I got to talk about this thing that happened so I can get out in front of it.
The people falconing up in Goshen, New York.
Shout out to Goshen, New York, the hospital I was born at. Oh, nobody cares? Fuck you. It's our show. But so he was going falconing up in Goshen, New York, as most normal everyday people do. They go falconing in upstate New York. Yeah.
All right.
Hudson Valley. And I was supposed to meet them there at like maybe 8 or 9. I was driving up maybe, really early, like 7. And that woman in a van in front of me hit a bear and killed it.
Boo.
Okay.
Boo.
Okay, so he notices a woman in front of him happened to strike a bear. As I understand it, it was a young cub.
Yes.
So he sees that. That's terrible. Okay.
So this is the first point in the story where I need to ask you the question, bullshit or not. I'm not going to do the whole bit, but do you think she hit a bear or did he hit a bear?
Now that you mention it, I would think that if he were going to lie, it would make more sense because he doesn't want to seem like the guy who actually killed the goddamn bear.
Yeah. Well, it only makes it a little bit worse when you go through the whole thing. So, all right. So this lady hits a bear. What happens next?
A young bear.
A young bear.
So
by the way, for our visual audience, every time you get a close-up of Roseanne, just look at her face. And I can't imagine what's going on in that pill-addled brain. Allegedly pill-addled brain.
Pulled over, and I picked up the bear and put him in the back of my van because I was going to skin the bear, and it was very good condition, and I was going to put the meat in my refrigerator.
So here's the second part where I start to think, were you really RFK? Is this what you were going to do, brother?
Skin the goddamn bear?
Yeah.
Oh, opportunity knocks. There's a dead bear.
And it's in good condition, he said.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah. Well, what kind of a sick fuck would even consider this?
Well, he's been on Jeffrey Epstein's plane multiple times, admittedly. So, who knows where this bear was destined to go.
And you can do that in New York City.
Sorry,
I was just say, if this were Ted Nugent, all right, he'd probably skin it right there. He'd probably make it into a hat right there.
My.
But this guy, Jesus Christ.
And just think of how he would immediately have done the solo from Cat Scratch Fever to honor the bear passing on to the promised land. You know, Ted would be respectful. We're not even a minute into this yet.
Bear tag for a roadkill bear.
So he had what's called a bear tag. So he's allowed to take roadkill bears, apparently.
He didn't say that. He said, we do that in New York if
you know
you have a tag. So he didn't say I had a tag. He just said you can
Some
do this.
people do. Yeah, okay. Well, I backed it up a little bit.
And I was going to put the meat in my refrigerator. And you can do that in New York State. You can get a bear tag for a roadkill bear. And so then we went hawking, and I had the bear in my car.
Have you ever used that verb? We went hawking.
Hawk tour.
Beautiful. By the way, what I will say, kudos to Roseanne for realizing, I am staying away from this story. I'm in his shot. Everybody sees me. I'm not interrupting him. Just let him keep going. This is why this clip is 3.5 minutes. She didn't want to start like trying to make jokes or talk about her own accomplishments. What were you going to say, Easy?
That face is, I hate you. She's saying, I fucking hate you right now.
Yeah. For some real fun, go find Tom Arnold's X account and see his comments on this video. It's some next level stuff. Somebody who might have a grudge.
And then we had a really good day, and we went late. We were catching a lot of game, and the people really loved it, so we stayed late. And instead of going back to my home in Westchester, I had to go right to the city because there was a dinner at Peter Luger's Steakhouse.
Well, that's a little bit of a flex. Why would you need to go to Peter Luger's Steakhouse if you have perfectly good bear meat in the trunk of your car?
Yes, and he's rich on the details too. You know, he's always giving us too much background. Yeah. This story could have been like 15 seconds.
Yeah, but of course, you know, when you go hawking, it's so much fun that you just lose track of the time.
What is that, by the way? I don't even know what that is.
I assume it's the same as like falconry, but it's with hawks. So, you know, like you wear the gloves and they like land on your arm and then you have them fly around. But anybody in the chat who's an avid hawker, please let us know.
Okay.
And at the end of the dinner, it went late and I realized I couldn't go home. I had to go to the airport. And
so he's at the dinner, the bear carcass still in his trunk.
Yeah.
So he's gone to Brooklyn. He drove up to Goshen, New York, which is about like an hour, 15 hour and a half from the city. Drives back. He's at dinner in Brooklyn after a long day of hawking. And then he remembers, oh, yeah.
That would have been bad.
No, that's my fault. I thought I backed
Luger's Steakhouse. And at the end of the dinner, it went late. And I realized I couldn't go home. I had to go to the airport. And the bear was in my car. And I didn't want to leave the bear in the car.
How long was he going to be out of town for? Was it even a consideration? Devil's Joint, our buddy JJ with the great point. Same thing they did with JFK's body. Thank you, JJ. We look forward to having you on with us next week.
That would have been bad.
That would have been bad. You think, RFK? You think, Bobby? Can you fly, Bobby?
So then I thought, you know, at that time, this was a little bit of the redneck in me. There'd been a series of bicycle accidents in New York. They had just put in the bike lanes. And so a couple of people had gotten killed, and it was every day, and people had gotten badly injured. Every day it was in the press. And so I thought, I wasn't drinking, of course, but people were drinking. But
all right, that's our next moment for bullshit or not. Why do you volunteer that if you weren't drinking?
Right. Jesus Christ.
Everybody else is drinking, but
so much going on here. What is he talking about? Bike lanes, and every day people are dead from riding
Yeah.
their butt? What the fuck is he talking about?
Well, I think this is back in 2014, and my understanding is that Ray DeVito was spending a lot of time in Central Park on his bike, and I think that that was why he had to hit the road on Interstate 80. He took the GWB, the George Washington Bridge, right to I-80, and unfortunately, the bloodshed never stopped. Kelly Riddle, fantastic point. Glad to see you in the chat today, Kelly Riddle. I know you're a big fan of our show. Why does Roseanne look like a 50s housewife?
Who thought this was a good
I did not Zuluth. I did not inhale bear cock with my buddies.
idea? And I said, I had an old bike in my car that somebody had asked me to get rid of it. I said, let's go put the bear in Central Park and we'll make it look like he got hit by a bike.
So here's the first reaction from the room. I don't know who that is. I assume that's one of RFK's handlers. I think Roseanne does her show with her son. So those are probably who's laughing, making him feel like this is a safe space. There's another minute. Just like, yeah, that's pretty funny. As I'm listening to the elaborate details of like, well, I had this bike to get rid of. I was going to take the bear carcass to Central Park. I was just thinking like, I'm so glad they retooled the concept for Impractical Jokers before they actually put it on the air, because this was not funny. The show they ended up delivering much better than RFK Jr.'s version of it.
Funny for people. So everybody thought that's a great idea. So we went and did that, and we thought it would be amusing for whoever found it or something.
Oh yeah. That hey, look at this dead bear.
So
That's so funny.
If you're blitzed at Peter Luger's steakhouse and then this comes up, are you going to be one of the guys laughing, Eric? Like, that's a great fucking idea, RFK. Come on, Bobby, let's go do that.
This guy. Holy shit. If I was going to vote for him, I wouldn't now. I wouldn't vote for him after this.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I want to be able to give credit to the person who put this on Twitter, but I wasn't smart enough to grab it. I'm only remembering it now. She said that he heard Kristi Noem's story and he said, "Hold my bear." And I would give the credit. It's not me. That's not my joke. It's very funny. I would give credit to the person if I could.
Well, one more thing.
Yeah.
Just the actual point of the story, he's horrible. And then the other thing is for him to think that it's okay to just throw this out to the world and no one, that's fucking so stupid. How much of an idiot is this guy?
Let's find out.
The next day, it was like, it was on every television station. It was the front page of every paper. And I turned on the TV and there was like a mile of yellow tape and there were 20 cop cars. There were helicopters flying over it. And I was like, oh my God, what did I do? And then there was some people on TV in Tyvek suits with gloves on lifting up the bike. And they were saying they're going to take this up to Albany to get a fingerprinted. And I was worried because my prints were all over that bike.
So
Go ahead. He had a bike in his vehicle?
Yeah, it's a weird detail in the story that he had a bike that somebody wanted him to get rid of. He was going to take it out to Goshen and dump it somewhere.
I don't believe this at all.
If you're a member of the Kennedy family, when you turn 12, don't they burn off your fingerprints for reasons just like this? Yeah. Well, look, there's a little bit more, but that's the meat of it. Pun intended. It wasn't intended. I have to apologize for everyone, but I don't know. What do you think, Eric? He did a good job, right? He got out in front of the story, and I'm sure people aren't going to be talking about this anymore now that he told the story, right?
Well, I mean, outside of no one's going to talk about this because it'd be like if I told a story, I would tell it to my 15 people who watch my podcast and no one would give a shit. It's the same thing as this guy because no one cares about RFK Jr.
Well, here's the thing, though. The New York article did come out, and there was an extra detail in it.
This photo published by the New Yorker shows Robert F. Kennedy Jr. with his hand in the mouth of a lifeless bear cub.
Oh, no.
This photo
did you know about that part?
I didn't know about that. Yeah. I did not know about that.
That's why I saved it for the air. Like
a true God.
So he's pretending that the bear is biting his fingers. And Jesus Christ, if that doesn't inspire a $1.99 super sticker, I don't know what will.
Oh.
Should I leave this here until somebody super chats us? No.
Oh,
That's
God.
not the way we do it.
What an asshole.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what his what the Vegas odds were on President RFK Jr. I think his dad was probably more likely to get elected than he was in 2024. But what just a disturbing story. And man, the takeaway is rich people be crazy. What were you going to say?
He says he does some weirdo shit. He did that thing with the dog or the whatever the fuck it was he was eating.
Yeah.
And now I'm surprised he didn't take it and put it in a convertible and reenact his uncle getting shot. What an asshole.
At the very least, he could have done a Weekend at Barry's, some parody of the movie and take the bear around. The bear should have been in a hat and a trench coat at Peter Luger's. I mean, if you're going to have fun, RFK, have fun.
Jeez.
Well, obviously we're knee deep in politics right now, but let's make it official.
A lot of people talking about Christian and Carl's segment, making it great with who are these politics?
So that's a terrible story about the bear, but everyone will be glad that it wasn't a specific bear, a bear who is back and better than ever.
Bear is back. The Trumpy Bear is back. The 3rd edition collectible Trumpy Bear is once again here for all to see. Everyone knows one thumbs up means ready to go. And
is that what one thumbs up means from Trumpy Bear?
Wow.
What's your favorite part of Trumpy Bear? Is it the dead, lifeless eyes or the comb over? I'm having trouble picking my favorite part.
It's to me, it's thinking about the morons who will spend money on this.
Well, this is the 3rd time they've trotted out Trumpy Bear. So each presidential campaign, there's been a Trumpy Bear. But as funny as this is, I did crop out the phone number in the website. I can't be responsible for selling a single Trumpy Bear. You want to give money to Trump himself, that's your business. I don't want any Trumpy Bears in anyone's homes.
with that grin, Trumpy Bear is ready to win. The all-new 2024 Trumpy Bear shows you his patriotism with his flag-themed tie.
Okay, so wait. They didn't have you at first, Eric, but the flag-themed tie? You thinking about it now, considering?
Well, I'll tell you this right now. This sounds so ridiculous, but if you were to spend money on like Trumpy Bear and Trump tennis shoes, and he even has the ones with him, after he got shot, you can get those in the goddamn thing. If you keep that shit boxed up and in 50, 60 years, somebody's going to be sitting on a fortune one day.
Oh my gosh, that's a great point. And regardless of what happens in the election in 2028, there'll probably be a Trumpy Bear Jr. for us to see. There's one more selling point I want to get to.
Then open the secret zipper and let the American-themed cape fly.
All right. I feel like they're starting to win you over, Eric. The American flag-themed cape. It says blanket, but the voiceover said cape. So
I am in full support of any of that shit that they sell because it's just so goddamn ridiculous. And I love that so many people have been duped to give all their fucking. That's probably 5 months worth of money from the average Trump voter for that fucking thing.
Well, all right. Since you asked, we'll keep playing so people can see how much it costs.
Oh my, what a cool guy. The original new Trumpy Bear big and super.
Did you hear that it's the original new Trumpy Bear? It's the original new. Did you hear it's original? It's new. It's Trumpy Bear. He's both.
Plush with those eyes, that hair. It's almost impossible not to stare. Trumpy Bear is here, there, everywhere. And
he's in an astronaut helmet on the moon for our audio audience, who I'm sure are jotting down where they can possibly find Trumpy Bear.
If you tire, Trumpy Bear is here to inspire. Don't delay. Order the most talked about bear anywhere.
Okay, that's a bad week for this commercial to roll out. This is not the most talked about bear anywhere. We just spent like 8 minutes on the most talked about bear anywhere, but Trumpy Bear's number 2, Eric.
They should rip out a portion of its ear.
That's the 4th edition.
Trumpy Bear can be yours for only $69.90.
So $70 plus. So it's shipping and handling. You got to figure it's $80. So please don't delay. Do it today.
Yeah.
Trumpy Bear wants you. He wants to be in your home. And I mean, the sneakers are a way better investment than Trumpy Bear.
I think so. But I mean, honestly, I think everybody should buy one of these just to say that you participated. And then in 100 years, you pass it down to the next generation. They're like, what the fuck is this?
You were part of the process. In the chat, Fish, member for 1 month for Who Are These Podcasts? In defense of RFK Jr., his wife is very attractive. Yeah, but, more so season 1 of Curb Your Enthusiasm. But, yeah, I'm not going to disagree, Dwyer Christian, easy. I use my cash to get pussy, not Trumpy Bear.
Okay.
And Matthew Zizou says, my wife is thinking about this bear to bust. Yeah, I mean, look, something's gotta bring her over to the other side, I suppose. All right, so we have Trumpy Bear. That is a new mascot for the show. In the earliest weeks of this show, back in last summer, we did have a favorite, somebody that we kept really close tabs on, Eric. And we have some great news. We used to talk a lot about Senator Tim Scott because every week a different reporter would find another way to ask him if he's gay.
Yes.
And his answer was always no. Well, the questions are going to have to stop now.
Scott, he is tying the knot today. It's some good breaking news for you, saying on Instagram that he tied the knot today with Mindy, his now wife, and saying, tonight we promise to cherish and nourish each other and our marriage for the rest of our lives.
But one thing that he's not going to promise to do is put his pee in her stink hole. There's no way. Yeah. Great. Dwyer Christian, Mindy, if that's a real name. External extrapolations.
I was going to say she looks good. I was going to say she's actually attractive.
Yeah. By the way, Rocco Warby says, I only want Teddy, the gay bear from Queer Kid Stuff. Yeah, I agree. That's a much better bear. I don't know what that was. All right. So, what do you think about this happy photo? Who looks more uncomfortable in this photo?
Well, it looks like he's a lot older than her. Or he just looks like shit. So yeah, I don't know. It just looks very weird to me. I don't know. Just something about it.
The Dookie says she looks like a female EZ. And Hulkamania says, wait, no way. And Dwyer Christian forgot about Teddy from Queer Kid Stuff. Yeah, probably so did Lynn's. And he hasn't been out in ages. So my question, and I posed this on Twitter, and people thought I was crazy. Why in the world would Tim Scott still get married to a woman? He can get married if he wants to. I got no problem with that. But why is he still perpetuating this idea that he likes a clam box?
Yeah. I guess some people still want to hang on to that. Deny till you die. And I mean, this is 2024. Tomorrow, a Christian could be a woman. I could be a chick. A Christian could be a dog. I could be a cat. You can be gay. You don't have to be gay. I don't know. Of all the times, we live in the golden era to just announce that you're gay.
Yeah, no, that's true. It is, but for some reason, I guess he felt like he's still not comfortable with that. But I think he went through with it because he's seen the albatross around the GOP. That is low energy Vance.
So I call Trump and I'm like, hey, sir, what's going on? He's like, JD, you missed a very important phone call. And now I'm going to have to pick somebody else. And I like tense up and almost have a heart attack. And the crazy thing about it is my son, who's 7, is in the hotel room with me. And he's really into Pokemon cards right now. He's going through a Pokemon phase. Are you guys into Pokemon?
I am. Back in the day.
Okay,
Yeah, that's a big phase right now, I think, in general.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's really into it. So he's trying to talk to me about Pikachu. And I'm on the phone with Donald Trump. And I'm like, son, shut the hell up for 30 seconds about Pikachu. This is the most important phone call of my life. Please just let me take this phone. Oh, no.
And the cat's in the cradle and the silver moon. The little boy blue ran away with the spoon. What a great heartwarming story there from our buddy J.D. Vance.
Yes.
Would you shut the hell up? Trump's on the phone, you shithead.
Never before has there been a podcast with a bigger need for microphone stands. And this is coming from a guy who used duct tape to hold his fucking mic.
Although JFK Head Chunk has the right approach. Shut the fuck up, kid. And Mr. Z says Pokemon for the life. Yeah. Both Sides of the Line podcast. He's transitioning to being Caucasian. He's now African American. That's back to our buddy Tim Scott. So yeah, I think that I think that JD's days are numbered. But earlier,
really, you think they're going to dump him?
He's so bad. And if Laura Ingram's asking, then there's definitely powerful people who are like, you realize that it's not the layup it was when you were going against Sleepy Joe. But I hope that, I want him to be around. I want more clips of JD Vance. And there was late breaking news this morning. Kamala Harris chose her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. I literally know nothing about him. I'll ask Cardiff what he thinks, because obviously he's the governor of Minnesota. But if he brings even a fraction of that low energy that JD Vance brings, I would say that I'm ready for him. And I saw a question from Dwight Christian. JD Vance worse than Palin. I mean, they should have done Palin too. But once you went down that road, you couldn't. And this is a great one from Both Sides of the Line podcast. The VP would be Hillbilly Bear. So, Devil's Joint agrees with me that it's a bit of a disaster. And the Dookie says the ticket no one wants. See, I think I have a different Twitter feed than you do. Well, look, we spent so much time on the bear that I'm going to skip all my Kamala Harris clips. And Reverend Shitstain, you sent me some great ones. They're going to be just as good next week. But we've got important stuff to get to. I do want to spend a couple minutes that yesterday was a tremendous day for President Trump. He was on a live stream that was watched by millions of people. No, not the Uncle Rico show. He was on with a content creator named Adin Ross, who I literally know nothing about. I've learned a lot. Our friend Japanese fart enthusiast in the Discord brought me up to speed a little bit. He danced with Trump to YMCA, so we're not going to play it because 3 of the members of the Village People are very litigious. Oddly enough, the Indian doesn't give a shit, but the rest of them are coming and looking for our money. And yes, Dookie, he gave him a Cybertruck, and it was wrapped with with an image of the Secret Service around Trump after he was shot.
Wait a minute.
So
yeah, the what do you call it? What's his name? Content creator. He gave Trump the Cybertruck.
Yes, he gave it as a gift. He also gave him a Rolex, and Trump wasn't even going to open it because how many fucking Rolexes does Trump have? Yeah. And Dwight Christian, Adin Ross, you're not wrong. And yeah, Devil's Joint, the only good Cybertruck. Look, if you could get me in a Cybertruck that is wrapped with the Secret Service around Trump with his hand up saying fight, fight, fight. Yeah, I would probably, I'd rent that from Enterprise if it showed up among my choices.
Of course.
Yeah. And yeah, this sounds like some Andrew Tate stuff, Dwyer Christian. Men do not give gifts, ? So they get into the Cybertruck, Adin Ross and former President Trump. And he's so proud of himself in this truck. So he's loaded it with Trump's playlist. This is another clip that's like 4.5 minutes. I can't show all of it, okay. But let's spend a moment here and take a look at what happened when the Donald and the Ross got in the car together.
Good? We back? We good? Oh, we're good. All right. Now this is cool.
That's very good.
I've never even seen you in a car before.
Wow.
Apparently,
not too many. that's look at the playlist, huh?
This is your playlist.
It's a good, yeah.
Your team picked out.
Yeah.
You want to pick a song? Let's test out this
so
sound.
let's try it. And you know, some of the artists I like better than others, but I like the other song better. So it's always tough.
Who's like your top 3 artists?
Well, we love Frank Sinatra, right?
Of course.
And you know, there's a couple that I really like, but I don't like the people, so I don't want to really mention their name.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of musicians who hate you, you know. So yeah, you know, it happens. You know, look, I'm sure that Kamala Harris had to delete all the Kid Rock from her iTunes. You know, I think she was
Right,
like, oh,
yeah.
that's really too bad. But
I'm guessing he's looking at Springsteen right there. He's
That's
probably
a-
looking.
that's a
what
good
I think.
guess. You're a little too contemporary.
But look at this list as an example. It's such a great list. Aren't the Beatles always good?
Come on, they're the best.
Rolling Stones are always good.
Choose one. Let's
look at that.
You,
So
you
let's
go
do-
choose what you like to choose. You
let's-
just swipe like this.
Oh yeah. That's fantastic, huh?
So awkward.
How about, and we like the Beach Boys. We always like the Beach Boys.
We do like.
So the Beach Boys is the safe version of Springsteen because their politics might line up a little bit better. All right. So they're going through the playlist.
We always like the Beach Boys.
We do like the Beach Boys.
Who doesn't like the Beach Boys?
Me.
How about if we did the following? How about thinking that it's going to come back under proper management? How about California Dreaming?
Let's do it.
Good.
Okay. So I've wiped the music, but I have to mute it when the vocal starts. So we're not going to hear the music. So now,
All right, Elon, let's see how good the system is.
How good is your system, Aiden?
That's a good looking system.
It is, right?
Okay. Hit play.
All right, now Spotify is glitching.
Oh,
may have-
Spotify.
Oh, hold on.
Okay, so the song starts. All right. So then we get the vocal. This is where I was going to say, hey, Eric, let's hit the super chats while we look at them awkwardly sit there. But I don't think we have any. So instead, we'll bring up some free chat. No Slipknot. Dwyer Christian with a great point. We're the Isotopes. Yeah,
Oh my
there
God,
should definitely be Isotopes in there. Dwyer Christian, I was explaining, I muted it on purpose because I was able to wipe the music, but the vocal's still there. And as much as I like having Carl explain to me the latest copyright strike, I'm trying to avoid these ones.
Yeah, we don't. We want to avoid having to be given a pep talk by Carl.
Yeah, if we can limit the interaction. So he also plays God Only Knows by the Beach Boys and some Elvis, but I'm going to go ahead and bring it towards the crescendo, which is they pick another artist, and I think you'll know who he's talking about as soon as I am able to hit play. And it's still muted, but here it is.
So well.
You doing well?
Here we back it up a little bit.
Can't go wrong with this, though. Come on.
He's
MJ?
Michael
doing
Jackson.
So well.
You doing well?
He's a very good guy. Very good guy.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah. That's
most talented person.
Man, he can do everything.
You think?
I hate this guy. I hate.
Yeah.
Okay. At least Trump is natural. This guy
Yeah.
is so fucking jagged.
He's like
whoever this weirdo is.
Oh, yeah. Everybody loves the Beatles. He doesn't know any Beatles songs. You know?
Yeah, talk like a human being. What the fuck is he? He's just sucking his dick. It would be less uncomfortable if his head was in his crotch and he's wiping jizz off his face. That's how uncomfortable this guy is.
Well, Dwyer Christian points out Ross is a swallower, so that definitely helps. Sorry, I Regret Life. 2 Live Crew, and Dr. Scotty Jones, Blood Rag by Porno for Pyros. That's a bit of a deep cut, but I always like a nice deep cut. All right, so I mentioned that our buddy Japanese Fart Enthusiast was actually up on this guy. I did not know who he was. I was not aware of Adin Ross is his name, and Japanese Fart Enthusiast. Eric knows what I was doing. I couldn't find the clip. I've got it now. Japanese Fart Enthusiast found this video, and there's others. We'll just talk about those so that we can move along. But the word fascist comes up in his chat.
What does a fascist mean?
Fascist. I said fascist.
It means you are a far right authorization ultra analyst.
This guy makes John Melendez look like the Reading Rainbow guy. You know, it's he's LeVar Burton compared to this guy. He's going to try and get through this definition.
Ultra analyst, political ideology movement characterized by dictator leadership, centralized autocracy, militarism, forcible suppression of opposition.
I don't know how many of those words he got right.
Yeah. Anything more than 2 syllables, he just kind of stumbled and bumbled his way through it. This fuck has so much goddamn money. Jesus Christ.
JFK head
Wow.
junk, public schools rule, and Mr. Z shouts out Boss Man Jack, who fans of Bedabbling Live know Boss Man Jack. Eric, you would love Boss Man Jack. He bets online on poker, and he has these wild swings where he wins $3,000, but then the next hand he loses $50,000, and it's absolutely great. So Adin Ross is known for smelling the seats of his guests after they leave. And so I know he gave that car to Trump, but I have to assume that he's like, oh, you know what? I think I might have left something in there. And he gave one big whiff before he actually gave the car over. So this is a guest who got up. And I said I wasn't going to show this, but I think we need the visual. The guest leaves, and then he's like, all right, I guess the thing to do is smell that seat. And there's montages of him doing it other times. But that
okay. Yeah. At least that can be funny. As lowbrow as it is, that can still be funny. Yeah. I do acknowledge that.
Sure.
That makes up for all the other fucking stupid shit. And you know what? He's better than us.
He is better than us.
So much better than us.
Oh, well,
motherfuck.
Our buddy Reverend Shitstain in the Discord commented on how much money he has. I'm like, I don't think that has anything to do with it. The guy's a fucking idiot. Dwyer Christian with a twofer. You know he sniffed Trump's seat. Jim Norton fan? Probably. It's a good point, Mr. Z. JD Vance fucks couches, and y'all shit on him.
Shit on him? What are you talking about?
Yeah, we're talking about both.
Nobody shit on anybody, you fucking moron.
I think we have to stop reading the free chat because nobody's going to send us money. And JJ was on deck to replace you if your internet didn't work. Devil's Joint's going to go get a haircut. But Reverend Shitstain will be on the Trainwreck tomorrow morning. If you don't know the Trainwreck, it used to be called That Reality Show with Helga Mann and Lisa Boswell. And everybody check that out with Reverend Shitstain. And I have asked JJ to bring some best of, some really, quick snippets for some of the great guests that have been on that show. But not my episode, because when my episode was on, nobody cares.
They are so hot.
Obviously he did send me clips of Bob Levy on with both of them, and it was something else. All right, so I've got a lot of clips from Donald Trump at the National Association of Black Journalists. And I think a lot of people have seen how that went, but I can't ignore it. And my intention was to offset this with a bunch of Kamala clips, but that's why they say pencils have erasers. We're going to have plenty of Kamala on. Don't worry.
Yeah.
She's going to always be a dipshit.
I've always hated we got to be balanced. Yeah. I'm like, fuck it. Just whatever sticks, and then we'll just figure the rest out later. I don't give a shit.
I guarantee we sold a couple Trumpy bears today. All right. So I think that makes up for the fact that we're going to show this. So the panel was moderated by ABC News senior congressional correspondent Rachel Scott, who you're going to hear from first. There was also Fox News anchor Harris Faulkner, one of the good ones. She's one of the good ones. And somebody named Kadia Goba, who you probably won't hear in this package, as they say. But Trump's right about one thing. She does go right after him. This is after being introduced. And I think that he's not wrong, but Trump at full power knows how to play this in a way better than he does here.
Yes, he does.
Addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from.
Oh.
You have used.
I mean, he's not wrong about a couple of those,
Well, yeah.
Even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Yes, absolutely. There's no question. But still, the judo flip here.
Yeah,
she plays right into his hand. What a amateur this chick is. This is a goddamn child with a master.
And it's like all you needed before this, and we'll get back to it, is how you're doing, how are you feeling since the assassination attempt? All right, now I'm going to brace you with a bunch of bullshit that you just needed 30 seconds.
You have used words like animal and rabbit to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist.
Are you watching his body language?
Yep. He looked away from her.
He looked away. He's tapping his feet. He's like, all right, I'll take all this.
But he is letting her finish.
He is letting her finish. Yeah.
Because he knows she's digging a goddamn hole for herself. He knows that.
It's at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question so in such a horrible manner. The first question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And
okay, can you pause it for a second?
Absolutely.
When I heard the reactions, those were not jeers. They might have been laughing, but I don't.
Yeah.
If they did not love him, wouldn't they boo him?
I think that's not the instance, but I think there are times that they are laughing at him. But because when he makes the policy points, you sort of hear the like two claps in the background, because this is the association of what? Black journalists. So they probably work for like legacy media. There's a couple in there that are probably Trump fans. And there's also probably a nice percentage of people there that are like, oh, I love Trump, but I am not clapping. I'm just going to take it all in. Yeah.
I thought there would be more hatred though, but I didn't feel like there was.
It's graceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country.
So there's the smattering of applause.
You're the one
I've done so much for the black population. The two people in the back here in Chicago. I've done tremendous work for all of them. You hear it. So, they're not necessarily, jumping up and down for him. And he's rattled the rest of the time. Eric, I think you feel like he did better here than I did.
Yeah, I did. I did feel that.
He aced this. So I specifically need to make sure I play this interaction, because if this is him acing it, I don't want to see when he's struggling like Namath.
Own supporters, including Republicans on Capitol Hill, have labeled Vice President Kamala Harris, who is the first black and Asian American woman to serve as vice president and be on a major party ticket, as a DEI hire. Is that acceptable language to you? And will you tell those Republicans and those supporters to stop it?
How do you define DEI? Go ahead. How do you define
diversity, equity, inclusion?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Is that what your definition?
Give
me a definition then. Would you give me a definition
DEI.
of that?
Hey, dummy. I just told you what D stands for, what E stands for, and what I stands for. What part of this are you missing?
Right. So isn't he trying to okay, but you're gonna have to give me more than that.
Yeah, right, exactly. And I get it, because he likes one of these panelists. He's indifferent on the other one, but he hates her. He's been in that seat for not even 2 minutes. But we'll see how far they go down this road.
Give me a definition.
Sir, I'm asking you a question, a very direct question.
Define it for me, if you would.
I just defined it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Well, I can say no. I think it's maybe a little bit different.
So this next moment is the moment where everyone backstage in the Trump camp was like, "Ooh, we said we were going to do this for an hour." The full video is 34 minutes.
Yeah.
In the intro, they say, thank you for spending an hour with us. They pull the plug on 34 minutes. This is still only 2 minutes in. He does stick around for a while, but his people pass along the message that it needs to end. But This is where I think most of the attention comes from this interaction.
I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always
But you know
identified
what?
as a black woman.
I
She went to a
respect
historically
either
black
one.
college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't.
Oh, yeah. So, it's like, so she turned black. And I think that most rooms he goes into, I was going to be fine with that. But you are in the National Association of Black
Well, yeah,
Journalists.
the fucking balls on this motherfucker. Are you kidding me? He's either the stupidest or the ballsiest. Which one? What could it possibly be?
Yeah, I'm not gonna beat the dead horse. I'm not gonna belabor the point. There's the very hostile interaction as it comes, through all of this. And he has trouble hearing. He talks about how they kept him waiting for a half an hour, and he directs literally every single thing towards Rachel Scott from ABC News. Towards the end, the middle panelist, whose name I already forgot, the not Harris Faulkner. So the other one, Kadia Goba from something called Semaphore. She asked him a question. JFK head chunk. I would love to have the hair extension concession in the lobby. So she asks a question about, like, you're going to be in your 80s in your second term. If it's time to step down, would you? And this is a good half hour later from what we were just watching. He still hasn't really let go the way he was introduced.
Right.
Consider stepping down if you felt that your health was declining. Or would you?
Oh, absolutely.
And who would
I think I'd know.
How would you make that decision?
I think I'd know. Look, if I came onto a stage like this and I got treated so rudely as this woman.
Oh my goodness.
So he goes on to say he'd know when he was done, but she's just like, oh my goodness. He's like, oh, we're back on that. And look, that's that. Count Eric Connor was Anthony Cumia, the opening act. Look, I know that not everybody wants to watch 34 minutes of that, but I really enjoyed it because every time it was like, you kept me waiting. And there's one point where they want to get back on topic because we have limited time. It's like, that's because you kept me waiting,
Right.
like you, Rachel Scott, kept me waiting. Greg Williams with $10. In her defense, Rachel Scott is an absolute raging, rhymes with punt, and the crowd was with Trump.
Well,
maybe
not. It depends, I guess. I will say this. If you're going to attempt to try to get under Trump's skin, you're going to have to do a lot better than just going back with a history lesson of shit he says right in his face like that. He's going to immediately wall you off. He's smart enough to figure he's done that his whole life, talk his way out of that shit. That's impossible. You got to figure out, and I don't know how, but you better fucking figure out a way to try to paint him in a corner and get him to act. And he won't do it. It's nearly impossible.
Yes. No, I absolutely agree. And I think that obviously he handled it very well, but I think he's got it in him to have just annihilated everybody in there. And I think he was like, oh, I wasn't expecting that.
Right.
I know we're going to go a couple minutes long today, not past the half hour point, but I've got something that I have to get to, and it is an entire segment that would fall. So most of you probably didn't realize that last night was a big stream, a Zoom call. Remember those? Comics for Kamala. And it takes us back for anybody who's longing for those days of 2020 where everything happened over Zoom. It was a fundraiser for Kamala Harris, allegedly by comedians. And this is how it started.
Excited to be here as a white dude, but
Excuse
I'm also
me.
excited.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, John.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sure.
This isn't the white dudes for Kamala. That was last week.
Home run, Cumia. Fuck yeah. So that's John Hamm talking. And he's pretending that he's here for the white dudes for Kamala. I did you click your mic off for some reason? I didn't hear you laughing at that.
Oh, God damn it. That was so uncomfortable and awkward and ugly.
Yeah.
Fucking ugly.
Yeah. And but you know, it hits the right tone.
Oh, sorry. What is this?
This is comics for Kamala.
Right. I'm not a comedian.
Yeah, John, we know. We've seen your work.
Okay, wow. That's just really.
All right. So obviously they're off to a great start.
Fuck off.
Wait, is that a me for playing?
No, that's it. These idiots.
Yeah. Well, you know, Trump talks a lot about how the court system has been weaponized against him, and you can argue against it sometimes. But when Letitia James shows up on this stream with just some absolutely top-notch joke telling.
I was jealous because my nickname really didn't make sense. Peekaboo didn't make sense. I wanted a name like Senator Elizabeth Warren. I wanted to be nicknamed after a powerful and strong woman, a Native American hero, a woman that showed the way. And so I asked people who knew the former president better than I, you know, how come Elizabeth Warren gets to be Pocahontas? How come I couldn't be Pocahontas? Nobody knew, but now I know. It's because in his very large brain, nobody can be Black and Indian at the same time.
Oh. It reminds me of the days when comics tried doing those COVID shows, those asshole COVID shows.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, the Zoom calls.
Yes.
The Zoom comedian shows. Absolutely.
Oh, fucking A.
Well, the crowning achievement of Comics for Kamala, which, by the way, they raised like 500 grand over a few hours. That's nothing. You know, I mean, but who tuned in for a Zoom call with a bunch of comedians and pretend funny people? But the key really was when they brought out John Stamos and Matt Friend. Do you remember Matt Friend, Eric?
I don't.
He was on the White House Correspondents' Dinner doing some of his tremendous impressions.
Oh, no, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah. His best impression is Howard Stern. And usually it's just on the radio. And, well, you'll kind of notice that just like John Melendez, without Stern show writers, the performance might leave a little something to be desired. So here's Matt Friend as Howard Stern with the actual John Stamos.
John Stamos.
Hi, Howard.
So, John, let me ask you then.
Okay.
Right. Democracy's on the line. It's an important election.
Right. Yes. Right.
Can you talk to me about your dating life in the 90s?
We're just talking about the elections.
No, but I want to know, you're just too attractive. I mean, I just want to know, like, why are you even here? Why are you supporting Kamala Harris?
Well,
why should people vote for her?
Because
Right. Talk to me.
Well, let me talk.
I'm asking you
go
the
ahead,
question.
Howard. This is a great Howard.
Well, no, tell me, why should people vote for Kamala?
Well, because I felt like the two people that have been running didn't want to be president. One was running to stay out of jail. The other one was running because he thought he could beat him. And now we have someone who wants to do good in the country.
So John Stamos has no ground game for convincing anybody to vote for anyone. And he's like, oh, why did I say yes to this?
Well, yeah, and the problem is he's with someone who is absolutely the perfect Stern impression. I was taken back by how good that guy is.
Yes.
He should shove Stamos out of there and just do Stern for like 5 hours. That's what they do.
Agree.
No, that was fucking great. I hate Stamos. He's fucking it up because he's not funny or anything. He's just sitting there. No one even is listening to that asshole because Stern, the guy doing Stern, I forget what you said his name was.
Matt Friend, yeah.
Great. That guy is fucking great.
Well, let's see if we can maybe change your opinion on Matt Friend.
Great.
I interviewed President Biden, and I've interviewed you. You got to get Kamala on my show.
Okay.
Well, John, thank you for answering my question.
Thank you.
How does it feel to be the only beach boy that doesn't support Donald Trump?
That's a decent joke. I do
No
like
one's
that.
gonna get me in trouble.
Now, here's another question.
Go ahead.
Okay, well, are we taking the wig off? We're moving on?
No, take
okay, good. I was intimidated. Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry.
That's the Trump. That's old.
Oh no, this isn't a trumpet. This is because I hurt my ear trying to get into your house.
No, I hate him.
Yeah, I knew as soon as the wig came
You
off.
dumb motherfucker. You fucking asshole. I was so enjoying that, you dick. Fuck you.
Yeah. And look, it's not like saying you wished for a different outcome, but you're still joking about the moment where somebody tried to murder the former president, and if you're gonna do it, I got no problem with it. It's gotta really land. It's gotta be a big joke. It's gotta be a great joke. And I don't know. This was kind of neither of those. I've got him also doing Trump and Mitch McConnell. Do you have any interest in either of those from Matt Friend, or should we do our last segment?
I don't know.
I'm giving you the choice, Easy. It's
I'm going to
the
go
old
last
choose-
segment. I'm going last segment.
We're going to go right to the last segment,
Yes.
which I'm excited about, because speaking of Howard Stern, we had our first ever bonus episode 6 days ago, right here on the Who Are These Podcasts YouTube channel. I spent 90 minutes with the great Jackie Martling. And in fact, there was a voicemail about it that I heard on Who Are These Podcasts.
Who are these broadcasters that Jackie Martling on? No John content, and you don't have the balls to tell the fans at the beginning that there will not be pussies anyway, and I talk about, oh, God forbid Jackie talk about just, why even that fucking Jackie on? You know that's the only reason anybody's going to fucking pay attention. God, you guys are such a circle jerk of fags with this Dabbleverse. Either slug this fucking guy in the mouth or just fucking be done with it.
I love that guy used John's favorite word. So way to not recognize the long game I was going for. I told Jackie we didn't have to talk about anything he didn't want to. I mentioned there were some super chats. I said I could read them without him. And then he's like, no, go ahead, read them. And I'm like, all right. So that guy who left the message, well, maybe he didn't take the time to watch the whole episode, but someone else who also didn't watch the whole episode, but at least went over to Dabblers Anonymous to kind of see what was going on because people were talking about it. And I need to give a huge thanks to everybody at the Shuli Network, Shuli, and of course, Frog and Discount Don, because I would not have these clips if it weren't for them, because John takes down every episode of his show. And so they furnished me with these clips, and I'm forever in their debt. And how are we doing on Super Chats? I'm going to assume not well.
Everybody knows that.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you fucked me up.
I know. I didn't mean to. Sorry.
Pretty much you're spot on. Count Connor threw another $1.99 at us. So we have 3. I think we're hovering around the $14 range.
Guys, we are not going to hit the goal even for the year. I don't think it's possible for us to hit the goal. At no time are we going to be able to hit the goal, and it hurts a little bit, but thank you.
At least be 25. Can we try to get $25? Adi,
Yeah.
have we made you laugh enough that it's worth a couple of bucks? God damn it.
And you know what? The problem is that I was banging the drum so hard for Blind Mike. I helped him get $4,000. Nobody wants to give me money. And you know what? That's all right. So when John first saw this interaction, he was very complimentary, even though human waste of space, Clay Dabbler, tries to explain to him that he misunderstood it once John gets something in his head. So this is going to be from our bonus episode, and it is a question about who's funnier, Shuli Egar or John Melendez.
Jackie asked the question, who's funnier, Shuli or Stuttering John?
Stupid question.
Well, I mean, if he says Shuli, he's a fucking
He's
liar.
not going to say. He probably doesn't even know who the fuck Shuli is, does he?
I don't know.
Maybe. Barely.
All right. The child actor who beat Bob Levy. Who's funnier, Shuli Egar or Stuttering John Melendez?
Please say who's Shuli.
That's not even a question.
God, what's the answer then?
I love that it's not even a question.
No.
That is the perfect answer. Stickles, have you seen?
A load of shit.
There we go. No, Jackie was. You know what?
We didn't say who's that
Good job,
pertaining to. No, John. He's not saying you or Shuley. He leaves it up in the air for your own conclusions. He doesn't say you or Shuley.
No, I think he's
just
saying.
said
I think he's saying. I mean, who's
Dunno,
Shuley is
bro.
what he's saying.
What do you think he's saying, Eric? What do you think Jackie meant with that
I
comment?
don't think it's the same thing that John's thinking. I think
No.
he's just like, I don't even want to talk about that, right?
Yeah, right. I think, and I'm trying, that's one of the first questions, if not the first question. So I'm still trying to give Jackie some room to navigate the whole thing. And, I'm trying to help. I'm trying to be a good host, despite what somebody else might think. Sorry, what were you going to say, Eric?
What's with the fucking weirdo? Who was that fucking guy? Is that the?
That's Clay Dabbler, who is possibly a troll, but depends on who you ask. If he is, he's really going at it a much worse way than even Quadfather did. Quadfather, I think people didn't love the payoff, but Clay Dabbler just literally is a drain on the soul of every man, woman, and child on the face of planet Earth. Only rivaled by Rob Saul, who also, I believe, is determined to eat our souls.
Well, that's interesting to hear you have such a strong opinion about someone, because I don't think you've got a mean bone in your body. I don't think you have an angry bone in your body. And for you to drop that means something, in my opinion.
Well, yeah. And by the way, I don't hate JD Vance. I just think he sucks. And I kind of love him because of how bad he is. So, all right. So let's see what a difference 24 hours makes. Okay, Eric. So he had that reaction. And I think that perhaps somebody got in his ear. Maybe he read some more comments on Dabblers. Maybe Clay had to sound out all the words on the phone and explain that, it wasn't as complimentary as you thought. Again, our friends at Uncle Rico clearly provided these clips to me, and I couldn't be more grateful. All right. The child actor who beat Bob Levy. Who's funnier, Shuli Egar or Stuttering John Melendez?
That's not even a question.
I love that it's not even a question.
No.
That is the perfect answer. Stickles, have you seen?
This guy is like the worst host ever.
Thank you. That means so much coming from someone of your talent. By the way, Dummy shares all these clips where on his show, he's promoting, you can see it, whoarethese.com, thecreepoff.com, silkcityhotsauce.com. He's promoting DabbleCon because he's playing our clips without cropping the bottom off of it, because there's no way he knows how to do that. All right.
Oh my God.
Did you enjoy him telling me that I'm the worst host?
It was just, I mean, I'm all about somebody. This is perfect. I love that.
Well,
because I like you a lot, and to hear someone who just gets the shit beat out of him every day, despite that, he's still swinging for the goddamn fences.
Yeah, he doesn't stop.
That's not even a question.
I love that it's not even a question.
No.
That is the perfect answer. Stickles, have you seen?
This guy is like the worst host ever.
Milady.
I mean, he's just like an ass kisser.
Kind of.
Oh,
like,
fuck.
I mean, please give me a fucking break, dude. You're just gonna sit there and giggle. You fucking dummy.
Oh, yes. John is beating the shit out of you.
Well, this is the second time now that John Melendez has called out my hosting ability, which, as I said, Eric Zane, coming from John Melendez, is really an honor that he feels like I'm not up to snuff for the excellence in broadcasting provided by John Melendez. So it is an honor and it is a privilege. And it's time for you, John, to put your money where your mouth is, not your actual money. I know better than for that. Right here, right now, I am challenging John Melendez to a talk-off, an interview off. John, you go ahead. Pick any figure of some note to interview, and I will also interview them. I'm talking about people of note, no fucking Dabbling Dan or Dirty Deeds. Definitely neither of your dipshit co-hosts. And you know what? Not my dipshit co-host either. You know,
Yeah.
you understand, Eric. Yeah.
Right. Of course.
He does. Yeah. So you record an interview with them. I'll record an interview with them. The same person. We'll put it out at the same time. We won't do it live. Neither of us can watch what the other one does. You're a proponent of democracy, John. You report, the people will decide. Are you, John Melendez, man enough for this? Are you interviewer enough to do it? Anyone who saw him talk to Pat Cooper's kid is well aware of what he brings to the table in terms of interviewing. I'll do my best to train myself, to get up to your level, to try and be half as good as the Duke. What say you, Duke? Are you the Duke of the interview verse? Or do you just lazily read super chats like a fucking retard, like Kevin Brennan? Figure if I'm going to get one of their attention, I might as well get both of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this is some real heat.
So I'm giving John Melendez 7 days. Next week, who are these broadcasters? Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific on the Who Are These Podcasts YouTube channel and wherever podcasts are found, because I know he'll play this. So I want to make sure people know when they can find Who Are These Broadcasters. And John, this is what I was talking about. Look down there on your channel. Tickets are now on sale for DabbleCon 2.
Yeah.
August 16th and 17th in Rochester. If you had even an ounce of a sense of humor, you'd be there. You'd be able to laugh at yourself. None of this would have ever happened. But that's not what this is all about. This is about whether or not you can be a man in the interviewer chair. Are you Charlie Rose? Or are you fucking Charlie Brown? See, if it's him, I don't have to be funny. You see what I'm saying? So I've got more of John reacting to clips from our bonus episode.
A talk-off.
Yes.
A talk-off.
That was all I came up with. I as I'm talking, I said interview off sounds better. I've got no graphics. I've got no production. If Frog and Discount Don, out of the pity in their heart, want to create something. But John, I would be happy to interview the same person you interview. And should you come out the winner, I will donate, not to you. I'll let you pick a charity though. And I will donate $100 to a charity, not to you.
How do we
not going to
judge?
super chat you.
How do we judge the talk off?
It's going to be whatever the people say. We'll put the links on Dabblers Anonymous. We'll share them on our shows. We'll put it out there. And that's how people, I know my buddy Eric Zane right there. Doesn't matter what happens. You're voting for John Melendez. And I understand that. And I respect you for it.
Well, you don't know that. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm gonna listen to both of these two people do their interview thing, and I will listen. I always thought you did a good job hosting this show. He's a fucking moron. I am on your side because I don't agree with him. I think you did do a fine job leading the show. He can fuck off. The guy can't even finish a fucking sentence. But I will try to be, as what's the word I'm looking for?
Objective, impartial,
diplomatic, impartial, objective to this. Sure, by all means.
Absolutely. Well, I'm waiting for your answer, Duke. You can give it to me directly. I'm on Twitter. You can see it right there at Christian DMZ until you block me, which is kind of inevitable at this point. That's where you can find me. Don't worry. I've got other accounts, like the accounts that you used to write to me from, Maple Leaf Fan 4, asking for John Melendez to be on Dennis Miller's show. Just things that I remember.
This goes deep. This goes way back. God damn it.
Look, maybe I just want to be included in the lawsuit too. All right. Maybe that's what it really comes down to. I don't want to be left out. So I hope that we hear back from John soon, and you will find the answer on next week's show. That is all the time that we have for now. You can find me in mere minutes over on my channel, Blackcast, where I'll be interviewing the great Peter Noon from Herman's Hermits. It's a perfect example. I'm sure Peter would love to talk to you, John. If you want to also talk to him, I'll do a second interview after I do him right now. That was Jackie's idea that I should catch up with him because we both know him. So I'm going to talk to Peter Noon in a little bit. And if you head over to Geekscape, the Geekscape YouTube channel, you'll see the Deadpool and Wolverine special I did with Husey and Lucy Tightbox. But Eric, where can you be found before we tidy up all the super chats?
My friend, the best thing to do is just, you can find me on Twitch. Just search all one word, Eric Zane Live. I go every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time, Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday. And of course, go to whoarethese.com to find the phone number. Leave us a voicemail. Say it's for WATB. And you can also get your tickets for DabbleCon 2, which is coming soon. Now, I don't remember that we got this one from Count Connor. Awkward pauses and mute buttons for Harris. That is a perfect way to describe that Zoom call. I do love this from JFK Headchunk. 867-5309. Jenny. Who can I turn to? Tommy getting made. First of all, I love the icon there. At $10 super sticker, please give us a comment for free and we'll put it up on next week's show. Count Connor says, Christian, can I borrow $4.99? The super chat was $4.99. And Rockawar B with a $2 Skol. All right. So I wanted to end big, Eric. I didn't want to tell you about any of that. I wanted you to get your natural reaction, and you made me realize that the branding was probably not as strong as it could have been. But yeah, for now, it's a talk off. All right.
Okay. I like talk off.
Yeah, we'll stick with it. And because Tommy getting made did not give us a comment, Greg Williams is the high super chat. So before you jump over to the Blackcast YouTube channel and check out me and Peter Noon, please remember that I'm Christian Bladt reminding you every mic is a hot mic. And in her defense, Rachel Scott is an absolute raging, rhymes with punt, and the crowd was with Trump. See you next